All right, what is the name of the book, Kim?
Staying Sane on the Crazy Train, Journeying to the End with My Mother.
And just tell us what this book is about. This had to be a journey, not just obviously for your mother at the end of her life, but also for you.
Yes, it's a memoir, and I focused on the time period where I was a reluctant caregiver to my mother, who had been a hoarder and struggled with dementia.
Your mother was, I mean, in her prime, she was like a flight attendant. She was kind of like part of the jet set, was she not?
Absolutely. Back in the late 50s when it was really glamorous.
And how hard was this for you towards the end of her life? You know, I dealt with the same thing. A lot of people deal with the same thing. They're not the same person who brought you up. So how did this change you?
It was extremely difficult because I have to say it lasted nearly 9 years, and it was a nightmare the entire time. And it was because I had a very strong relationship with her prior, when she was more herself, that helped me to get through it, but she was pretty much unrecognizable.
Why do you think this book is so important? There are so many people out there who are dealing with this, and yet a lot of people tend to push it aside. They don't want the neighbors to know. They don't want their friends or anyone in their orbit to know. You're getting the word out there. How do you feel that could help maybe other people who went through what you went through?
Because there are tens of millions of people in this situation, and more every single day. And it was by leaning into the natural world and my wildlife photography that really helped me. But it's a situation that's shameful and embarrassing. And I found when I opened up, mostly because I was desperate, I found a lot of comfort in that. And people could really relate to the situation.
You know, you bring up words like shameful and embarrassing, and I think a lot of people do feel that way, but a lot of people go through it, and really it's part of life for, as you said, millions and millions of people. It's got to be great getting the word out, because I'm sure a lot of people can open up that book by Kim Nagy and go, you know what, I'm going through the same crap.
It was extremely cathartic to write about it. I kept a journal for the whole time, and that process was very cathartic. In fact, looking back, I'm now able to read really horrible, intense sections of the book and laugh at the real craziness. And the title came from the Crazy Train, because that's how, when people would ask, how are you doing? I would say, well, I'm boarding the Crazy Train. I love the song. And I would just describe it that way. I'm boarding the Crazy Train. I'm getting off the Crazy Train. I'm still on the Crazy Train.
How did you change as a result of this? When you went into this reluctantly, as anyone would naturally, and you've come out on the other side, what has changed in Kim's life?
I learned how to decouple expectation from effort, and that was the biggest thing that I had to learn, that no matter how hard I tried, things weren't going to get better. So I had to learn to ask myself different questions. How can I feel better? How can I improve? Rather than, why is this happening to me, and I'm a good person, and all that sort of judgment. So that was the real breakthrough.
In the end, are you glad you went through what you went through, only if nothing else to give your mother the comfort that she needed at that time when she could not fend for herself anymore?
I can't say I was happy to go through it, but a lot of wonderful things happened, and the wonderful things never would have occurred had I not gone through the process. But would I choose the process willingly? No, never. Not ever.
No one would. Where can we find this book? When is it coming out?
The book will be out in the next few days, and for right now it will be on Amazon, available on Amazon.
All right, any local bookstores or just Amazon right now?
There will be local bookstores as well.
All right, well, congratulations with the book. Is there anything else you'd like to tell people if they're going through this, and there's not a lot of self-help books when it comes to this? Your book may be able to be the remedy and the elixir they need.
People need to find what makes them happy. I think creative pursuits are really the best, whether it's nature photography, being outside, painting, drawing, writing, anything to get yourself outside of the situation, because when you do that, you can open up your perspective to new opportunities and new ways of looking at old problems.
And throughout all this, ornithology, obviously, bird watching and your nature watching, it definitely was your therapy you needed for yourself.
Absolutely.